Greetings YouTube, Simon here, welcome back to the channel, and here is another Final Fantasy IX tutorial. And just to say, I'm really enjoying the live streams with you guys, so hopefully we can continue on with those as well. Now then, what we're going to be doing today is defeating the Tantarian boss, or Tantarian. Not really sure how to pronounce it, but it's going down one way or another anyway. So we're going to be doing this earlier than we would otherwise normally be expected to do so, hence the little tutorial video. But it is a good idea to get this boss down early, mainly because it actually has a really nice item that it gives you once defeated called the running shoes. And the running shoes have the Auto-Haste ability, and if you can start getting that learned by your party members sooner rather than later, it's just going to be a big aid for you going forward. Also, big shout out to Red Mario 13 and Naki 36 for giving me the strategy that worked perfectly, as you're about to see, and I'm going to be sharing that with you now. So what you're going to do is make your way through the events of Disc 2 until you're back in control of Steiner and Marcus, and this is in Alexandria. So once you've just got the two of them, you're going to make your way through the very next part of the story, which is rocking out of the cage so that you can smash it into the walls. And once you've regained control, just run to the other end of the room. You'll have to make your way through the soldiers, and as you climb the ladder, make sure you remove all equipment from Marcus as he's about to leave the party. Now, you can't remove his weapon, but what you can do is replace it with something terrible, such as a broadsword, for example. Now, once you've gone ahead and climbed the ladder, you'll meet up with the rest of the party, and at this point you can go ahead and start preparing them with equipment and abilities, etc. So the first thing you are desperately going to need, don't even continue if you don't have this, but you really should, is the minus strike ability for Steiner. So you can actually get this from the iron sword or the rubber helm. So if you haven't learned it for whatever reason, then just equip one of those items and you'll be good to go. Now, what minus strike does is a fixed amount of damage based on how much HP Steiner is missing from his maximum total of HP. So if his maximum total was 100, and yet he only currently has 900 health, the damage from minus strike will be exactly 100, the difference between those two. And the reason why this ability is important is because we need to do between 150 and 200 points of damage precisely to the boss. So any number in between those is fine, but it cannot be less than 150 and it cannot be more than 200. So we need to get Steiner's HP down to between 150 and 200 of his maximum total. Fortunately, we do have all of the soldiers that are chasing us throughout the place, so just engage into any battle with any of those and just make sure that Steiner takes a few hits. If he takes more than 200 HP of hits, just get through the fight and then throw a few potions on him afterwards from the menu until he is within that range. So again, 150 to 200 of his max HP. In terms of other abilities, it's important that Vivi has access to Fira. So to get that, if he hasn't got it already, you'll need to equip either a flame staff or a mage's hat. But hopefully by this point you've learned it anyhow. And then make sure that all 4 party members have the antibody ability equipped. That's very, very important. And it's pretty much going to make or break this encounter. If you have it on all 4 party members, then it's going to be absolutely no problem whatsoever. And finally, there are some items to steal from the boss if you wish to do so. So I do strongly recommend just making sure that Zidane has any steel related abilities, such as Bandit, equipped. Right, in terms of gear, the only thing that's kind of important is making sure that Steiner has either the Ice Brand or the Mithril Sword equipped, and then pretty much it's a free-for-all. Just go for whatever you want to in terms of gear. I am going to strongly recommend you equip any items where there are abilities to be learned by the party members in question that are wearing them, and that's because the boss drops a healthy amount of AP. Oh, incidentally, if you have ability up, you might want to equip that as well on any party member that has access to it. And when you're ready, make your way over to the library area and interact with the bookcase at the bottom left of the screen, select challenge, and that will start the encounter. Now, the beginning of this fight is really going to determine the success of the encounter, and you are going to need a little bit of luck at start. And that's because you need Steiner to pull off a minus strike before the boss has chance to act. So if his ability, his ATB bar needs quite a bit of filling, then you might not get to do this. Now, I was quite fortunate. The boss did act first in my case, as you can see here, but it was only with the Doom ability, which really doesn't make any difference, and fortunately that missed as well. So I was very fortunate that I was able to get a minus strike off before the boss did anything too dramatic, and because Steiner's HP is between 150 and 200 of his maximum, that opened the boss to the correct page, where he's now in his open state, and we can begin with the main strategy. And all the boss is going to do while he's open is spam poison. But because everybody has antibody equipped, it's not going to do anything, as you can see here. Now, the boss does have a lot of HP, over 21,000, which might sound like a lot, but this is where Fira comes into play. So what we're going to do is start by stealing with Zidane, and all throughout the encounter, he's just going to be stealing to try and get some of the items that the boss has available. And Vivi's going to go for 4 or 5 rounds of focus, and that's going to boost his magic stats substantially for the remainder of the encounter. And once he's done that, he can start unleashing Firas for between 4,000 to 5,000 points of damage. And by the way, once he's focused up, he doesn't need to focus after each Fira cast. He will remain focused throughout the rest of the encounter. However, every 4 or 5 turns, the boss is going to close. So it's very important that Steiner doesn't do anything at all while the boss is open, i.e. don't even have Steiner defend. You need to keep him ready so that he can unleash another minor strike the moment the boss closes. That way you're guaranteed to get the minor strike completed before the boss has chance to do anything. And as long as Steiner is ready to do that, he'll never get chance to do anything to the boss before Steiner manages to successfully complete that move. So as you can see, I've done a few rounds of focus here with Vivi, so we're going to soon start to unleash those Firas. And even though this boss is high level, because he's only casting a spell, an ability that is going to be nullified every single time, there is literally no danger here whatsoever. Now, the only annoying thing about this encounter is that one of the steals is a Demon's Mail, which is actually a really nice item. The problem is that it's on the rare item slot, which means that it's only got a 1 in 256 chance of being stolen with each steal attempt. Now, you may want to farm for this. It would probably take you a long time in order to get it. Personally, I couldn't be bothered. There are other means of getting the Demon's Mail a little bit later on, so I just left it for the time being and just stole the other items. But as you can see there, the boss closed up again, but we were ready immediately to have Steiner unleash that minor strike so that we could continue with the pummeling throughout the rest of the encounter. Okay, so we've got a nice routine of strategy here. So as that's going on in the background, I'm just going to share some other information about this battle which should prove helpful. First of all, we're doing this early, of course, but this is still only one of 2 opportunities you have to engage with this particular enemy. So you do get another opportunity later on when going through Alexandria to fight this boss, but if you don't do it on the second chance, then you will lose the option altogether. Next up, if you're doing it on the first attempt or the first chance that we have access to him, as we are here, as I am here, then there's a couple of things to note. First of all, there is no saving opportunity before the boss. Okay, there's no save Moogle that you can reach because of the timer. The game doesn't want you to save. And that means that you're going to have to rely on either a little bit of luck if you're playing, for example, the PlayStation version of Final Fantasy IX, because if Steiner doesn't get off his minor strike at the start and you need to reload, you're going to have to go through all of that story stuff again from the previous save Moogle. But if you're playing on the PS4 or PC versions, as I am, then you can simply choose the continue option and that will load you back up right at the library area because of the autosave mechanic that's been introduced into these editions of the game. Very handy indeed. And of course, you've probably noticed that there is that timer in the upper left corner of the screen, and we do have to make our way down through to the next boss battle after this, the one that we have to do as part of the story before that timer expires, and we have to actually get through that second boss battle as well. Now, you might think that's going to be cutting it a little bit close, but in my experience, there's actually plenty of time to do this boss and the next boss before the timer expires. However, if that timer is particularly spooky to you, then you will have to leave this boss and then come back to it on the next opportunity, which is quite a little bit later on during the game. But as I say, the timer was really no issue for me. The 30 minutes that you get is far more than you need, so I don't expect you to have any issues either unless you're severely underleveled. But as you can see, the book has closed once more, so we need to make sure that minor strike is ready to go, which it is. And there we go, we can just continue on with the same pattern over and over until the boss has been defeated. And it's just a case now of spamming Fira. Again, we don't need to keep refocusing. We only need to do that before the first Fira cast. And we're just doing tons of damage. There it is. 21,997 HP, whittled down very quickly by our much lower level party. Incidentally, that enemy was level 41. So quite a high level enemy for this stage of the game. So there we go, 3000 plus experience, 30 AP, and a whole bunch of abilities learned. Very, very nice indeed. Alright then guys, well I hope the video helps you out. There's the running shoes as well, which is really the ultimate reward for taking this boss out early so we can start getting our party members learning the auto-haste ability. I hope the videos helped you. If it has, don't forget to drop a like, and let me know in the comment section if you managed to defeat the Tantarian boss earlier than the game would otherwise expect you to. But thanks for stopping by, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.